Hi everyone, my name is Liz and welcome to my channel. I am so happy that you're here today because I've got some fabulous DIY decor items that are going to be perfect for springtime in your home. I really wanted something that I could put in my house that wasn't too Easter themed but would still be cute for Easter and also work into spring. So I hope you guys enjoy these 3 items and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so for this DIY, I'm using a wooden bunny from Target. It's $5. I'm using a sponge, a dollar store paint marker, some white yarn that you can get at dollar store anywhere, and then I'm using some stain that I had on hand. This one is called Briar Smoke from, I think it's Varthane, Rust-Oleum. So the first thing I did to get this bunny started is to stir my stain, get it ready, and then I began brushing the stain on with just a craft brush from Dollar Tree. I will say that next time I probably would have sanded the bunny down. The bunny was really smooth, but I think that the stain would have adhered to the bunny a little bit better or would have soaked in a little more had I actually sanded it first. But it did the job. After I put a coat of stain on, I wiped it off with a paper towel. And it wasn't quite dark enough. I wanted it to be a little bit darker. So I did go ahead and put another coat of stain on it to let it dry. Depending on your decor, you might want to put 2 or 3, even 4 coats of stain, depending on how dark you want your bunny. While the bunny was drying, I went ahead and got started on the tail, which I made with a pom-pom maker. You can really do this multiple ways. I happen to have a pom-pom maker on hand. However, there are tutorials on YouTube on how to make pom-poms using a fork, using cardboard, or even just using your fingers. The pom-pom maker makes it really easy though. So I went ahead and got yarn that I had on hand. You can get this yarn at Dollar Tree. You can get it at Walmart. It's very inexpensive. I just used a regular white yarn. I wrapped it around the pom-pom maker multiple times until it was thick enough to make a fluffy tail. Next up, I went ahead and put polka dots on the bunny so that it looks similar to the Kirkland's one that I saw online. I used a white paint pen from the Dollar Tree. It worked out pretty well, although I did have to go over the polka dots twice to make them bright enough. I think if you had used maybe a white paint pen like Sharpie brand or one that's a little bit higher quality, you wouldn't have to do that. But I was sticking to a budget and just wanted to use the Dollar Tree one. After I was done with the polka dots, I went ahead and glued the tail on the bunny. And I ended up putting a little twine bow around the bunny's neck. You'll see it in the pictures later on. I just used brown twine that I got from the Dollar Tree. I think it turned out really well. This next Easter project, what you need is some white yarn. This is from Walmart, but you can get this at the Dollar Tree as well. Some scissors, a pom-pom maker. If you don't have a pom-pom maker, you can use cardboard or your hand. There's some YouTube tutorials on that. I just happen to have a pom-pom maker, so don't feel like you have to go out and get one. A white bucket. I got this at the Dollar Tree. They have them right now. Some either floral styrofoam or just some styrofoam that you're going to be putting into the bucket. I got this at the Dollar Tree also. Headband that are bunny ears. I got these at the Dollar Tree. A glue gun, and then some greenery. Whatever you have on hand will work. I'm using this boxwood from Walmart as well as this eucalyptus. I think I'm going to kind of mix the two. Depends on how much I need. The first thing I did for these really cute bunny buckets is I cut the styrofoam to fit into these little Dollar Tree buckets. Once I had that in there, I began arranging my greenery so that it filled up the bucket and just looked cute. Then I went ahead and cut the bunny ears. It was a little bit difficult to cut because there is a plastic piece inside the ear, so I had to bend that back and forth just to kind of snip it. It wasn't too hard. If you had some good craft scissors, it's pretty easy. Once I had the ears cut, then I began to glue them in place. I realized afterwards that it was kind of hard to just glue them onto the bucket, so I knew I had to use some kind of skewer. So I got some little dowel rods that I had from Dollar Tree and glued those onto the ears. After the ears were glued on, then I began making the bunny tail. I used a bigger pom-pom maker for this one, and I think it turned out really good. After I made the pom-pom, I fluffed it up and then glued it onto the bucket. And I think it turned out really well. I actually made 3 of these to go along my mantle on my fireplace. But you can make as many as you want or as many as you'd like for your home. This next craft project, I took a package of kitchen towels from Target. They're in the Easter section. There's 2 in a pack and they're $6 for 1 package. I got 2 packages but only used 3 for this project. And I folded it in half where the right sides were together, hot glued 2 of the sides and then half of the third side. I left a little opening so that I could flip it right side out and stuff it. I used stuffing that I actually had on hand, just a bag of polyfill. You can get this pretty cheap if you buy it in bulk, especially. They sell it at Walmart or at Hobby Lobby, really any craft area. I think IKEA also has maybe pillow forms that would fit this size pillow, but I didn't have any of that on hand. It'd be a lot easier, but I just used stuffing. Once I stuffed the pillow, then I made sure that the edge was folded in so that you couldn't really see a crease. And I went ahead and put the hot glue on the edge to close it all up. I believe that was probably the hardest part just because there was already stuffing in there. And so you have to make sure that there's enough room for your fingers and that you don't get hot glue on your fingers. I use those little tips when I'm hot gluing. You can get them at the dollar store, that hot pink little tip that I put on my finger so that it protects it and I don't get hot glue on my fingers. But other than that, it was a very, very simple project. Super easy, just hot glue and towels. Can't get any easier than that. I love the way that these pillows turned out. I think that they add a great touch to my bedroom and make it look all ready for spring. I think they also just went really well with the pillows that I already had on hand. So I'd love to see which one of these DIY projects was your favorite. So please put in the comments below which one you liked the best. And I will see you guys next time.